Hi! I posted another video about a month ago where I conducted an experiment and I recycled strings on a couple of hybrid setups. My friend Errol had his racket where he had polyester mains and synthetic crosses, and on my racket I had a polyester main and another type of polyester cross. And so what I did is I kept the mains intact and I removed the crosses and installed new ones. We did a play test and I have some readings that I shared at the end. And if you want to check out that video, I'll provide the link down below. But after I created that video, I had another idea where I'll conduct the same experiment, but I'll be using a different string setup. And I think this will be a little bit more practical than the other two that I did previously. All right, let's go inside. All right, so as I mentioned, I have a new string setup for this experiment. And it's something that I recently switched to. I have natural gut in the mains and polyester in the crosses. And part of the reason is I was developing tennis elbow, and I'm not going to say it's from improper technique of tennis, but it's probably from pickleball. Oh, and in case you're wondering about my left arm, well, I just had surgery today on my for trigger finger, so I'm not in the best shape right now. But I did play with this strings for a month, and 4 days ago I restrung only the crosses, and then at the same time I restrung another one of my rackets with the same string setup. And I had a match this past weekend, so what I did is I played a set with this one and a set with this one, and I'll share the readings from after this weekend's match. Before I get into the readings from this past weekend, I did want to backtrack and show you what I did with this first racket that I strung a month ago. So as I mentioned, the natural gut, I had Babolat BS Touch 17 and the crosses Prince Vortex 18, which is the polyester. The tension I went with 42 40, and the DT I had 30. This is right after stringing, and the string bed deflection at 44. So after a month and right before I restrung the racket, you could see how the values dropped. The DT went from 30 to 25, and the string bed deflection from 44 to 32. So now let's take a look at the readings I got from this after this weekend. And we'll look at this first row here, and this is the recycled strings. Well, at least the crosses were. So what I did is I took the reading right off of the machine, and I got 26, which is 37 pounds. String bed deflection came out at 36. This reading, I took the string meter reading when I removed the crosses, and I just measured the main, so I got 28. And then overnight, I took a reading here. So if you take a look at this 26 and the 26 here, that remained the same. And of course, the 37 would be the same. The string bed deflection did drop down 2 units, though, from 36 to 34. I'll get into this last column later, which I thought was very interesting. So in this next row, this is the new strings that I installed, same tension. And these blue numbers is the difference between this and this racket. And you'll notice that on all of them, it's consistently high. So if you take a look at the DT, the 29 was 3 units higher than the 26. And the pounds, 5 pounds higher. The string bed deflection on this came out 7 units higher here. And on the mains, it came out 6 pounds tighter than this. So these 3 readings were pretty close. I mean, the 5, 7, and the 6. So that was consistent, and that made sense. Now, if you take a look at the overnight readings, though, on this 27, it still came out 1 unit higher than here. Of course, the tension, the pounds would be higher also compared to here. And the string bed deflection was higher here. But let's take a look at this last column, because I thought that this was very interesting after I played with it for one set. Now let's talk about the last column that I have here. And this was after I played that one set this past weekend. And what I have here in the red type, starting with this first racket here, is the percentage of loss of tension, well, in different units though. So if you take a look at the initial reading of 26 and you compare it to what I did here after this past weekend, it came out identical. So that came out to 0% in DT units. Then the 37 is pounds, and of course the 37 here, that comes out to 0%. The string bed deflection unit from 36 to 34 came out to 6%. So there was a little bit of drop there. But if you take a look at this second racket here with the brand new strings, this 29 went down to 26, which came out to 10%. Then the 42 to 37 came out to 12%. And then the 43 in string bed deflection units to 34 here came out to 21%. So what I'm looking at here is that this particular stringing with the new strings, particularly the natural gut, is what caused all of these loss in tension, because both rackets had brand new polyester strings. So when you look at these readings, you see none of that happening here. I'm assuming that the natural gut just held its tension because it was stretched out at that point. But in the end, if you take a look at these readings, they're identical, the 26, the 37, and 34. So I thought that was really interesting to see that happening with both of these rackets. The readings from this experiment confirm that recycling your natural gut main strings in a hybrid setup could be a viable solution. And here are 3 things to keep in mind. 1, use this application only if the natural gut is the main string. If the natural gut is in the crosses, you would have to remove the mains, which could structurally be harmful to the frame. Number 2, when installing the non-natural gut crosses, tie off on a cross string, not the main string. Doing this will reduce the stress on the natural mains, which would make it also easier to remove the crosses to reinstall. And number 3, mount the racket in the stringing machine when removing the crosses. Earlier in this video, I commented that this hybrid string setup was more practical than the previous 2. The main reason is the high cost of natural gut. One of the benefits of stringing my own rackets is that I can restring my racket every time I play a match. But now that I know I can confidently recycle natural gut strings, not only will it make it more affordable, but hopefully I can save my arm in the process. Thanks for watching, happy stringing, and let your strings play. Aloha! I'm proud to announce that I recently joined the Tennis Warehouse affiliate team. If you purchase products from Tennis Warehouse, please use my affiliate link provided below. I will receive a commission, which will help support me and my YouTube channel. Mahalo, and let your strings play.